Take me back, that's my wife. You have no right! You have no right!
Where'd you like it?
I love you, Alex!
Why did you do this to me? Why?
Taylor Sheridan did it again. He set all of our expectations up, only to pull us in a completely different direction. The season finale of 1923 did not go at all how we expected. In this video, we are going to break down everything that you missed from the final episode while highlighting the 5 biggest storylines and takeaways from the crazy season finale. Let's dive in, starting with Number 1, TEONNA'S narrowing escape. The finale spent a lot more time on TEONNA'S journey escaping from the school. The episode opens up with Father Renaud talking to a marshal about what TEONNA did before leaving the school. In the conversation, we learn that TEONNA'S friend is dead. Father Renaud dismisses it by saying that children sometimes just pass. But we know that she had to have been tortured and killed by Father Renaud as revenge for being friends with TEONNA.
Did another girl leave with her?
She was alone.
Where's that girl?
That girl passed.
Past how?
Father Renaud and the marshal are going to set off in search of TEONNA since the men they sent have not returned. This new group could mean trouble for TEONNA. On the bright side, we find TEONNA reuniting with her father and meeting Pete from the last episode. Sitting around a fire, they discuss where they should go. TEONNA and Pete start to develop a connection, but her father tries to shut it down quickly, saying that their focus needs to be on surviving and escaping the feds, not on love. However, TEONNA fires back saying that they have been trying to kill her for a long time, so she wants to live in the now. TEONNA lays down in Pete's arms as her father lays down to go to sleep. In an emotional moment, we see both her and her father start crying. The trio decides that the best option to escape is to go to seek refuge on the Comanche reservation in the south. Meanwhile, the feds are still on their trail, discovering the dead bodies by the camp that was set up. After some thought of where TEONNA and her father are headed, the feds ride off to intercept them, with the goal of reaching the Comanche reservation by train first. When the new season comes, we'll be waiting to see whether TEONNA can escape them for good. Let us know in the comments what you think will happen. Now let's dive into the next big storyline, of course. Number 2, danger for the DUTTONS. Banner's story picks back up in court, where he is on trial for murder. But the judge claims that the arrest warrant is not backed by any physical evidence, and is only supported by verbal testimony, so he orders that Banner can be released without bail. Tensions are higher than ever, and as Banner gets released from the courtroom, he starts a yelling match. Banner even gets a punch-in on Jack as he leaves. Despite the threats of violence that are thrown back and forth, Banner is told that they can do much more damage with a pen than with violence in a later conversation with Whitfield. We find Whitfield again with the 2 women from the previous episode, again forcing one of the women to hit the other with a belt, to her pain. Whitfield tells Lindy why he enjoys watching the women hit each other. This is important as he expresses that the pleasure comes from the power, not the pain. So this scene gives us a little more insight into the sadistic psychology of Whitfield. Meanwhile, the DUTTONS are caught off guard by the sudden winter, as they are going to need more hay to feed the cattle. Jacob asks for a loan from the bank to buy cattle feed, but the banker is unwilling to provide one. This financial vulnerability is important and will come into play later. As Jacob walks out of the bank, we see one of the bank employees grab the phone. We can only assume that he is calling Whitfield to inform him of what happened, so it seems like his hand is in everything, and there are many people on his side. We also see that Clyde, Whitfield's informant from the last episode, is still watching the group intently in the town. This takes us to our next takeaway. Number 3, a weakening Dutton defense. As Jacob goes to the bank, one of the Dutton's crew asks if he can go visit his family. That night, while he is enjoying time with his family, we see Clyde again, sneaking around the window and looking in on the family. The next morning, law enforcement shows up and arrests the woman, who is Asian, for marrying a white man, which was illegal under Montana law. When her husband tries to fight back, he is beaten by the officers. Not only is this an awful statement to what the times were like back then, but it also means that the Duttons have lost another man on their team as he will have to protect his family. The challenges do not end there though. The Duttons experience more heartbreak and disappointment later, as Elizabeth has a miscarriage. Still, her and Jack's relationship holds strong, as he is there to reassure her. Later we see Whitfield pull up to the ranch in his car. We think a battle is about to break out, as the Duttons crew shows up ready to defend the ranch and Whitfield's men pull out their guns too. But something almost worse for the Duttons happens. Whitfield points out that the Duttons are behind on their property taxes for the year, and he tells them that he has paid the taxes for them. This sounds nice, but could have disastrous consequences for the Duttons. If Jacob is not able to pay back the amount of the property taxes by the end of the year, they will lose the ranch to Whitfield. Although we expected a big, action-packed battle for the land in the finale, Whitfield might be able to make it happen just through bureaucracy, without any gunfire. Now for the biggest storyline of the season finale. Number 4, Spencer's return. When we return to find Spencer and Alex, we see them boarding the boat to England. One of the biggest questions surrounding the season finale was whether or not Spencer and Alex would make it back to Montana. When we see the couple getting on the boat, it gives us hope that we will actually see them reach Montana by the end of the episode. However, while they are boarding, they see Alex's ex boarding as well. And this quickly goes awry. Despite Alex's hope to avoid them for 3 weeks, she changes her mind and wants to have dinner in the main part of the ship, after her friend tries to convince her that marrying Spencer is a bad idea. However, at dinner, her ex Arthur goes crazy, trying to fight Spencer at every chance and even challenging him to a duel. His father and family try to convince him not to, but he is insistent. Even Spencer doesn't want to fight him, knowing that Arthur stands no chance against him. Still, Arthur won't let it go. The two duel on the deck with swords. Even though Spencer continues to embarrass him, he refuses to give up. Spencer tries to end the fight after beating him to the ground, but Arthur gets up and charges Spencer with a gun, and Spencer instinctually throws him overboard. However, everyone that witnessed was on Arthur's side, so Spencer is treated like the aggressor, taken to the brig and locked away. This brings us to our 5th and final takeaway from the wild episode. Number 5, the intense ending explained. Alex and Spencer are separated by the captain of the ship, and Spencer is set to be arrested, but somehow Alex convinces her friend to confess that Spencer was not the attacker. This is enough to prevent Spencer from facing arrest. But since Alex's family has royal connections, they order that he be removed from the ship and taken to the next port. However, the Earl of Sussex questions the legitimacy of their marriage, allowing them to justify keeping the two separate. So the royal family orders that Alex, who is the Countess of Sussex, stays on the boat. Clearly, they still want control over Alex's fate. The last we see Spencer and Alex, they are yelling to each other and expressing their love for each other. Since Alex has Spencer's letters, she now has his address, and yells to him that she will meet him in Bozeman, Montana.
I will meet you in Bozeman, Montana! I love you!
I love you, Alex!
I love you!
So once again, Spencer's return will be delayed, and who knows by how much. And now that he and Alex are separated, the risk of danger on the journey back is even higher. In the final scene of the episode, we hear Kara reading another letter to Spencer, in which she says that Spencer is their only hope, saying you must hurry, Spencer, or there will be nothing left to fight for. So still, as we head into the 2nd season, the fate of the ranch relies on Spencer's return. But now, with another obstacle in the way, who knows if there will be anything left by the time he returns. We have yet to hear when the new season will be released, of course, but at least we know that a 2nd season is on the way. Given Taylor Sheridan's pattern, it is impossible to make. With Spencer and Alex now separated, it looks like that Spencer will make his way directly to Montana to meet Alex there. This means he could finally make it there directly and more quickly. After all, what else could go wrong? So, we hope that Spencer will be back at the ranch by an early point in the next season. Still, we'll be here to cover every update on the new season as soon as we hear something. So that concludes our analysis. What did you think of the finale? Are you satisfied with how the season wrapped up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so we can bring you future updates and analysis on 1923 and more of the hottest shows and movies out right now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.